So The Infiltrator is slow and long, but it pays itself off in the end. Hiya, I'm ThatJaymsWisdom, and this week's film review is of The Infiltrator, which is the crime drama starring Bryan Cranston. The film itself is all about a few undercover police officers trying to infiltrate and take down a drug smuggling and distribution network in the US. The main character, played by Bryan Cranston, is an aging undercover agent who's close to retirement but has gone through a number of other undercover operations that were quite successful, and this is supposed to be his last hurrah, his last one to bring down a very big problem, a big kind of drug organization in California. And of course he's married to a woman who wants him to retire from undercover work and from the police force in general so that they can have a much safer, more structured lifestyle with their 2 kids and all of the rest of that kind of family stuff. And this setup is all very important to us understanding the character, because this film is more than anything about the character work, and it's about the interactions between the characters within the film itself. And alongside Bryan Cranston's character, you have 2 other undercover agents played by Diane Kruger and John Leguizamo. Diane playing his fiancée whilst he's undercover and being a first-time undercover agent, whilst John is a slightly more experienced but different kind of personalitied character who plays an undercover agent who is part of a drug gang who gets Bryan Cranston's character into communication with the top brass. And these characters work very well together, with Bryan and John's characters having a lot of friction between them in the way they do work and the way they do undercover work, whilst Diane's character as the new fish adds a little bit of tension. Is she going to slip up? When's she going to slip up? What's going to happen if she does slip up? And how is that going to affect the rest of the cast? So there's a different kind of tension between those 2 characters as well. And it really is the characters and their emotions and their interactions that make this film interesting. Generally speaking, it's very, very slow paced with a few interesting action-y sort of sequences, but the things that are the most interesting are the emotional interactions and the character interactions, and that sense of tension as to whether they're going to get caught or whether they're not going to get caught, and what will happen if that does happen. The way the film is shot and edited really helps to enhance and highlight the tension moments within the film. When everything is going well for our main characters, the way it's shot is quite long form with long shots at eye level, and everything is fairly standard and slow paced. But as soon as things start to lose control a little bit and the characters become under pressure or things start to go a little wrong, the editing starts to cut much more swiftly and give much more kind of dramatic camera angles that don't show all the information and give you a sense of the environment that all your characters are in or what's going on around them. And that really helps to make you think, oh God, is it going to be now that this all goes wrong? Is this the moment when everything collapses and everything goes wrong? So overall this film is quite slow, but those bits do help to keep the pace moving forwards and keep it interesting throughout. But this film really isn't going to be for everybody. It's going to be the kind of film that if you enjoyed things like Breaking Bad, which obviously stars Bryan Cranston, or if you enjoy other detective shows where you have undercover agents, things like The Wire. To me, this is kind of almost like a cross between The Wire and Breaking Bad, which makes it sound like the most amazing thing ever, but it really is going to be for a select group of people. You have to remember that this is an emotional journey and much more a story of character than it is a story of action or a story of suspense. So I recommend you go and seek The Infiltrator out if that does sound like your kind of thing. If not, then you can probably skip this one without really missing much. I've been ThatJaymsWisdom. I hope you enjoyed this review. Keep smiling, and thank you very kindly. So if you enjoyed this review, please like and subscribe and come back next week to watch another review. You'll also see, if you follow me on Twitter, my short reviews that I do of every film I see in the cinema. So that's usually more than one a week. If you want to check out all the films I see and what I think of them, you can find those there. And if you want to see my last review, that's next to me. Thank you very much.